In this lecture, we are going to learn about face tracking, face mesh, all right, and we will also be creating our first filter based on face mesh, all right. So make sure to watch this video till the end. So we are talking about face tracking, right? What is face tracking? All right, what exactly it is it? All right, see, face tracking is a concept. All right, face tracking is an algorithm that actually helps us to track our face, right? Like for example, you can see this person right in here. All right, he is moving his head left and right, up and down, right? If we attach an face tracking algorithm or module, what will happen? It would track this person's face. Like for example, see, this person is moving his head upward, then also the face tracker will also point upward. All right, so that's how a face tracker would work. It would track the person's face, right? It will take, all right, it would actually take the person's head rotation and movement from the real world and put those values inside of the editor, all right, so that it can perform other tasks. that's that is what a face tracker is. All right, now adding a face tracker is very simple. All right, what you have to do is you have to go to your scene panel. In the scene panel, there you would be finding a addition plus button. You have to click on the plus button. All right, and in here in the first option will be there face tracker. Right now, if you are not able to find the face tracker, you can simply search it in here, that is face tracker. And after you do that, click on the face tracker and click on insert. All right, so here you can see the anchors, right? You are able to see the anchors, right? The You can see that with the face, all right, with the rotation and movement of the face, the anchors are also moving, right? So that's how face tracking works. All right, that is what face tracker does, right? Now, as you have learned about face trackers in Spark AR, now there's left face mesh, right? To make your see face mesh now is sort of a layer on your face, all right. It's kind of another object on your face, all right. You can understand face meshes as like this, all right. Now to add a face mesh, click on this face tracker, all right. Then click on add and write face mesh, and you would find the face mesh, all right, and click on insert. So here you can see that we added our face mesh, right? It looks like checkers board, right? Sorry, not checkers board, but chess board, right? So one more thing you have to remember, all right, that whenever if you want to make, like if you are attaching the objects which can totally work with your face tracker, all right, that is use face tracker for tracking the face, then make sure all the objects that you are putting in your scene, all right, to make it a child of the face tracker object. All right, why? Because here you can see that as the person is moving its head, this particular face mesh is also moving, all right, moving and rotating. That's how it is working, right? So that's why I told you to make the objects of like a child of the face tracker only if you want to, like, make it rotate and move on the player's head movement and rotation, right? So that's how it all works, right? Now as we have added a face mesh, we can also add a material to it. All right, so what you can do is click on face mesh. In here in the properties panel, you'll be finding a material section, and here you'll be finding an plus button. So click on this plus icon, and here you'll be a material would be created in your assets panel, and see, a material is also added, right? Now if you want, you can change the color of the material. All right, so simply select the material, go to its properties, and change the color. All right, change the color to whatever you want. All right, you can keep it red, you can keep it green, you can keep it yellow, you can keep it blue, anything you want. All right, but for now I want to keep it white, right? So now as we have learned to create our own face tracker and our own face mesh, right? Now what we can do is we can add textures to it. All right. Now this is a bit tricky part. All right. If you are familiar with Photoshop, then this would be a bit helpful to you. Like helpful means easy to you. All right. So let me show you. Go to your browser first. All right. Download these face reference assets, all right, because these face reference assets are going to be really useful to us. All right, so just go to this particular website. You can simply write on the internet Spark AR face reference assets. All right, you would get them in there. Now what you can do is you can click on this face reference assets, and it would start downloading a zip file. And after you extract it, all right, go to the textures folder, and you'll be finding two textures. All right, one is face feminine and one is face masculine. These are basically face reference assets, all right, to create the textures for our face. Okay, so I'm for this example I have used, means for this tutorial I have used face masculine. You can even use face feminine if you want. All right, now what you have to do is open Photopea, or if you have Photoshop in your system, you can open that. All right, I have used Photopea. It's like Photoshop but in online. So now what you can do is, first of all, import this face masculine in here. All right, import this face masculine in here, and import your lion face texture. For me, it's a lion face texture. You can use any texture if you want. All right. Now what I did is I pressed Control in my, I pressed Control in my keyboard and mapped it like this. Just wait. Okay, here you can see that I mapped it to the proportions of the face, all right, to the proportions of the face of the this particular reference picture. All right, and here you can see, you can, like, you just have to press control, right? You just have to press control and edit the transforms. All right, and you would be good to go. And always make sure that these eye holes, all right, are in place of this reference assets eyes. All right, so make sure you do that. Okay, and this is it. And then what you can do is you can simply, like, turn off this background layer and add another transparent layer, and you can simply go to file, export as PNG, and your texture would be exported, right? I have already done that. Now what you can do is simply drag and drop it inside your asset. All right, that is inside your editor. So I'm just going to drag and drop it in here. All right, so yeah, now is it is uploaded on within the it is uploaded within our Spark AI Studio. All right, now what you can do is, sometimes what happens now, your it would start, actually not sometimes, every time it happens that it would start compressing it. All right, and mine is already compressed. It was so fast. So what you can do is, all right, it makes the editor slow. All right, it makes Spark AR slow. For the moment, all right, for the moment you can select it to means in the iOS section, make it to none. Then in the Android and older Android also, make it to none. So it would stop the compression for a moment, and whenever you'll be publishing a filter, that is exporting it and then publishing it, it would start the compression. It will compress your filter and then you can upload it. Now always remember to compress your filter before uploading it to to Instagram or Facebook. All right, so make sure you do that. Now as we have learned to create our face tracker, our face mesh, let's add a texture to the face mesh. All right, this is also very simple. We already have our lion face which is mapped to the reference image. Select the material. In here you will be finding a texture section. Click on this image thing and select the texture. All right, and here you go, you got the texture in your Spark here, right? So that's how we work with face meshes. All right, you can also like add occlusion effect in this face mesh. In the next lecture only, we would be learning about occlusion because we would be implementing our own 3D model in Spark AR. All right. But for this lecture, this is it, and we learned about face tracker, we learned about face meshes, and also created our first face filter. Right. So yeah.